I think I'm just gonna have to start it like this. I think one of the most difficult things to film outside is you got wind, you got noise, lighting. It's times like this I really wish I had my own garage. Before we start today's video is the Honda meet. It is going to be next week on May 22nd on Sunday. I have not been to one of these meets in such a long time. As a matter of fact, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the Honda meet, it used to be called the Eibach meet, the SoCal Eibach meet or Eibach meet here in Southern California. So they changed the name and now it's just called the Honda meet. If I remember correctly, this one is not about who has the best Honda, who has the best engine, who has the best this, whatever the case is. This one is just a meet so that everybody can see different generations of different styles and pretty much see different Hondas, literally a car meet. So I'm going to be attending that one. I did register my car to be in it. I did also post on my Instagram saying if you guys were interested in going to that car meet, I'm gonna be going. Hector's gonna be going. I'm actually gonna be hitting up a couple people on my way there, so we'll be rolling together pretty much. And about 50 of you guys said you were going to be there, so I'm hoping I get to see a lot of you guys over there, and hopefully I get to meet new people and whatnot. So yeah, it's going to be on Storm Stadium by Lake Elsinore. Did I say that right? Hold on. Lake Elsinore, 500 Diamond Drive, Lake Elsinore at Storm Stadium. The Honda meet. It's gonna be sick. I can't wait. I believe tickets are only like $10 online. So hit them up on Instagram, follow them, give them a follow. That way you guys can get more information on that. It's from 11 to 4. I'm gonna be there a little bit earlier. Reading off my phone just in case you guys are wondering why I'm looking down. So I've owned this car for about 2 years. I put about, give or take, 35,000 miles on it. I was supposed to do this video about 5,000 miles ago, but I wanted to wait a little bit more just to see if I found some other things that I didn't like about it. But obviously, because of the title of the video, 5 things that I hate about owning my 2020 Honda Civic Si 30,000 miles later, or 35,000 miles later. These are going to be my personal opinion. Obviously there is no right or wrong. I'm just going to be explaining them in the way that I understand them. So my understanding might not be the same as yours, your opinion, just like your opinion might be the different as mine. So this is just what I was able to come up with and what I thought should have been just a little bit better from factory. Now to start off, is the first one is the gearing. The gearing on this car, specifically the 2020 models. When you got the 2020 model from the 17, 18, 19, and then the 2020. The 2020 got an updated gearing. I can't remember exactly what the final drive is, like the actual numbers it was. So it technically accelerates a little bit faster, but just ever so slightly. Now, that's awesome. But because of that, my gas mileage hasn't been where Hector's was. Now Hector has a 2018 Honda Civic Si. He gets, and I kid you not, there's been times where this guy snaps me, look bro, I got 42 mpg. And I'm just like, how? Obviously all highway driving, but I'm just like, dude, how? I can't break 37. I think the most I've gotten in this one was like almost 37, maybe 38. And that was when I was just commuting 65 miles, like whatever the case was. Now, I know, Honda has stated it only gets 36 mpg, and I'm not complaining about that. I'm just stating the fact that it's funny how the older model, or I guess you can say the different SI with the different gearing, gets just a little bit better mpg. It's not just the mpg, hear me out. Now because I am going 80 miles an hour at 6th gear, the drone on my exhaust is a little bit more dronier than it would be in Hector's car. Otro pinche avión. On my car, it's gonna be slightly more dronier than it is in Hector's car if we had the same exhaust, because me going 80 miles an hour, I'm at like 3,200 RPMs, while him going at 80 miles an hour on 6th gear, he's like just under 3,000 RPMs. So there's a difference right there. Those like few hundred RPMs will make a difference when it comes to the drone in the car. Now, I'm not saying those are bad, but I am saying that it's funny how the older model with the other gearing does get less drone and does get slightly better mpg, but mine technically, and I say technically, accelerates faster because it technically does. Number 2, for a 2020 model, the backup camera on these cars is pretty bad. It amazes me that this car started at like what, 24,000 MSRP back in 2017. for the SI model, and now into the 2020 model, it jumped up to like 27. That's a $4,000 difference to still keep the same damn camera. I've noticed that when I had a rental car, when they hit my wife's car, because she has a Sport Hatch Touring, the 2018, basically it's the same rear view camera. When we got a rental car, another 2018, I think it was like a GMC, dude, that backup camera was so much more better than this backup camera. And especially at night, that's when we realized, we're like, dude, how did GMC get a better camera than a Honda? Like, mind boggles me that and it's not that it's bad, it's just that it should be a lot better considering the price point that I paid for this car. So at night, it's pretty hard to see. Now, I'm pretty sure I could probably fix that with some LED reverse taillights. I'm pretty sure I'd be able to see a lot better at night with that. But the positioning of the camera also is very bad when it rains. So after I drive, I don't know, to work, and knowing me, I always like reverse parking, I can't use the rear view camera, so I end up using my side mirrors, which is a good trait to still have. That way I'm not depending on the rear view camera, but I have one, and it sucks that I can't even use it on rainy days because of where it's positioned, because it's pretty bad. And I know they could fix the camera situation. Like, I know they could have like tilted it just ever so slightly, because on my passenger side, where you have the blind spot monitoring system or the blind spot camera, in the rain, no matter how hard or how like long it rains, that camera never ever gets blocked from rain. I could still see perfect at night. I could still see perfect in the day, in the rain, in the fog. Like, the side camera is so much better than the rear camera, which amazes me how that works. Now, the next few things I'm going to talk about, I guess you can call it the performance oriented. I'm not going to talk about how it handles or like how slow it is or whatever, because that's not what this video is about. I've learned to like the car for what it is. There are things that I am going to change. I commented on the Facebook pages a little bit, and I got a couple answers that I'm satisfied with, that I'm not satisfied with. I got answers all around. The rev hang on this car is pretty bad. For some reason, the 2020 models have a ridiculous rev hang when it comes to a Phereable tune, maybe even a TSP tune, I don't know. But they happen to have this thing called throttle lag, where if you take rev hang off and you're driving around, shifting, everything's cool, RPMs are dropping the way you like it, like an old school Honda feel, but then you shift into, I don't know, second or third, give it some gas, and it just hesitates, it like jerks forward, and that's when everybody's saying, why is the car so jerky? Now, for some reason, it's only on the 2020 models, and I kept getting different answers. Oh, it's because you have the Phereable tune. Oh, it's because you don't have TSP. Oh, it's because you don't have a custom tune. Oh, it's because of the Honda sensing. Oh, because of the lane departure. So I keep getting all these different answers, but no definitive answer on why it does that. I still don't know why it does that. So what do? I technically have the tune where I have, because I have the Phereable 1.5R. Technically, I have the tune where the rev hang is turned off. So all I do is turn on main, basically right before I turn on cruise control and lane departure, and it turns rev hang right back on. So I've been driving of it like that. Whenever I do a pull, I'll turn it off at the flick of a button. That way I can just, you know, get up and go, because it does feel a little bit more, feels better with it off, especially when we're doing a pull. But when I'm just cruising around town, around the freeway, I'll turn it right back on at the push of a button from the steering wheel. Now, I keep hearing that a custom tune probably might fix it, because there are other 2020 models that have a custom tune and they don't have that problem. But then again, there are some that do. So I really don't know what the answer would be to fix that. So I love having rev hang off on this car, but unfortunately it is just not daily drivable with it being so jerky. So as of right now, I have it on, like I said, from the push of a button. Next thing I'm going to talk about is the turbo. The turbo for this car is pretty small. I mean, yes, it's a 1.5 liter. It does its job pretty good. It's very, very good for stock form, daily driving, gets you from point A to point B. I mean, what car doesn't? You have fun with it, even with an off-the-shelf tune. The only problem with that is that because it is a smaller turbo, it falls flat in its face on the higher RPMs. When I typically like to do some spirited driving and do a pull every now and then, I'll most likely shift 300 RPMs, 400 RPMs before red line, because that way I can keep the power band a little bit better. You know, at least I did that with the 1.5 tune from Phereable. With the 1.5R tune, I can rev up to 6,800. I haven't really felt a major difference of it falling in its face, but then again, the fact that 6,800 RPMs is a lot better than 65. But the good thing about this turbo is that it gives almost no lag. And the thing about that is, you're pretty much maxed out on this turbo fairly quickly. I think the most I've seen on 91 octane custom tune, like 250 wheel and like 300 torque, which is a pretty good size for a 1.5 liter, and for something of its class, that's not that bad. This thing is a torque monster with the stock turbo, but changing the turbo will change the characteristics of the car. So depending on what turbo I get, depends on how the car is going to feel, obviously. But what I'm getting at is the stock turbo, I'm not a big fan of it. I hate how tiny it is. I hate that, as a matter of fact, I hate that it doesn't have a lot of lag, because I feel like when a turbo car has a slight lag to it, it like gives it a little bit more of a dramatic feel, and you're just like, oh, I can't wait, you know? But with this one, there's almost no lag. So it's weird how I'm complaining about that, but like, I don't know, like, I just want to throw that out there. The stock turbo definitely does need to get swapped out on these cars. W1, Rv6, drop in, W2 if you want to go a little bit bigger. Those are good sizes right there, and they are drop-in turbos, and they pretty much go with what you have with the car. So I can't wait to change something on that. And those actually help it in the higher RPM range, so it won't fall on its face anymore if you upgrade the turbo. Now, to say that it falls on its face with a flex fuel tune, I don't know. I actually don't remember. I drove Andrew's flex fuel tune. He was on stock turbo, but I just don't remember if it falls, dude. It's been quite a while since I've driven a flex fuel tune car. Talking about the amount of horsepower in this car, guys. The last thing I hate about this car is it got maxed out fairly quickly with the fuel system. Stock fuel system, because it is a direct injection, guys, big turbo or not, you're gonna max out at like 350 wheel. Now, if you don't care, if you're not shooting for high numbers, that's not a bad spot to be in. Specifically if you don't want to worry about breaking a transmission, rebuilding an engine, getting a custom fuel kit, and all the other stuff. Full bolt-ons, a tune, E30 blend, you're like, I don't know, depending on the dyno that you're on and altitude and a lot of other stuff, you're gonna be sitting at like 330 wheel to about 350. I've seen maybe a 360 wheel, but now you're just like barely pushing the boundaries. And then because you are gonna be pushing that much power on the car, you gotta take it easy, because then you might worry about having a head gasket leak or something in that caliper when it comes to pushing something that far with this car. 350 wheel horsepower does not seem like a lot, but from a 1.5 4-cylinder turbo, you're pretty much set. I don't ever plan on rebuilding the engine on this car, at least I hope I don't need to, but if I can get around the 300 to 320 wheel horsepower range, I'm chilling. I don't even have to shoot even higher, because when you shoot higher, you're gonna want even more. I don't know, guys, these 5 things, I've learned that these are probably, like, I've tried doing another video on like other things that I hate about the car, but I really couldn't find anything. I mean, as you guys can see, it's not stock. All my mods are in the description if you guys are new to the channel. Like, I just put a Type R hood on it and it looks phenomenal, but it's a nice car, you know? It was very hard for me to come up with 5 things that I didn't like about it. You know, the backup camera, the gearing, the fuel system, the turbo, and the rev hang. It's not the end of the world with it, obviously, because all those things you can fix. Am I going to? Probably, like, eventually. You know, the rev hang, I should probably do a custom tune, but honestly, I'm not gonna do a custom tune until I get a bigger turbo, because then I feel like it's a waste. And then the backup camera, I'm pretty sure I can upgrade the camera somewhere, somehow, if I just look into it. I don't know. You know, the gearing, I'm probably not going to change that. That's way too much work. The turbo, obviously, and the fuel system. I probably don't even think I'm ever going to have to deal with the fuel system on this car. Now, I probably say that now. I don't know, like, maybe like a year from now, it might be a little bit different. But as of right now, with an upgraded turbo, I think this car will be fine. It'll be chilling. I don't think I want to push anything more than that, because then I'm going to be having to spend more money to fix stuff. Anyways, guys, I know this wasn't your typical 5 things I hate about my car and blah, 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 but these are just things that I thought I can think of. Oh my God, the wind's picking up really fast. I very apologize for the wind noise, guys. Okay, I'm going to wait a little bit more. I'm gonna go ahead and end the video right there because I don't think I'm gonna be able to wait here any longer. I gotta go home and start getting ready for work and whatnot. So I will see you guys in another video. If you guys are new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. It really does help me out. If you like the video, hit the like button. And I hope to see you guys next week at the, not the Eibach meet, the Honda meet. You guys have a good day. Peace.